Hi, my name is Jen, and today we're looking at the Pilates exercise of side lift. Side lift is very similar to a side plank or to a Vashisthasana, and this can be a really lovely exercise for those of us with spinal fusions. It's especially helpful when we have our low back where our scoliotic curve was in our lumbar or thoracolumbar towards the floor. That allows the opposite side, the concave side or the area of collapse, to expand upwards towards the ceiling against gravity. This can be a really challenging exercise or position, so I'll offer a few variations and hopefully you'll be able to play with these variations and find one that's a best fit for you. We're going to grow our side lift by starting with a side plank. And this is my current favorite variation of side plank. How we'll come into it is we'll place our knees on the center of the mat. You may also want a blanket under your knees if you're a little sensitive. And you'll have a block to the side, which is also in the center of the mat. So our hand, our knee, and our foot will all be on the same line. We come to a tall kneeling position. Find length through the waist. Keeping that length, you'll come onto your side, and you should have your concave side up towards the ceiling. The concave lumbar or thoracolumbar. And here, a few alignment tips. One is that the bottom thigh should be more perpendicular to the floor than on an angle. And that bottom frontal hip point is coming forward. Both of them are coming forward. So the pelvis isn't sitting back. The pelvis is coming into alignment with the leg and the arm. The arm can be slightly on a diagonal so that the wrist is out from the shoulder. This can help us keep length through both sides of the torso. And then from here, maybe you take your top arm to your shoulder and you think about how the lumbar or thoracolumbar concavity is lengthening, it's widening, it's moving towards the back space. It's very active. You could even feel it for a second to see what's happening. That area is from the top of the pelvis to the bottom rib. I like the idea that from my toes out through the top of the head, you're creating this very long line. And then you'll come down in one piece so there's no collapse in your waist, and change the block to the other side. Come up onto your knees, find that length again. You can step the foot out first and then come down onto the hand. And see if you can find a similar amount of length here through the bottom side, through the top side. I feel like for me not to collapse into my lumbar concavity on this side, which is now here on the bottom, I need to come to a higher height. And then you can take the top arm up and just grow long. Keep this bottom pelvis and top pelvis coming forward. And then come down in one piece. And now we'll start to add in the leg portion of side lift. So come onto the tall kneeling position. Take the length to the diagonal. Maybe take your arm to your shoulder. And then from here, keeping the pelvis moving forward, you'll float the leg up and then float the leg down. Float the leg up and float the leg down. Float the leg up and float the leg down. So you keep expanding through the concavity of your lumbar. Keep the bottom knee, that side of the pelvis reaching forward so that you're not sitting back. And then come down onto both knees. Change to the other side. I'm going to stay with my block a little bit higher. Reach long through both sides of your waist. Tip yourself over, keeping that length. And then from here, you'll float the leg up and down, keeping length, keeping width. Maybe you do about 8 on each side, and then come down. The last variation, we can add a little bit of weight in for the top arm. So maybe a pound or 2. I don't have any hand weights today, and I'll be using a can of Trader Joe's diced in tomato juice, vine ripened tomatoes. And we'll come into this in the same way as we did before. Tall kneeling, nice and tall, pelvis is centered, and the side waist is lifting up. Come onto the side. Make sure the foot, the knee, the hand are all in alignment. You can pick up the can. So here, we'll be moving the arm and the leg up, but the spine and the torso doesn't change. So we're stabilizing against the movement. Keeping those areas of collapse, those concavities expanded. And again, maybe you do 8 to 12 of these. You come down, rest for a moment, change your prop to the other side. Come to a very tall position, pelvis is centered, tip yourself over, check in with your alignment, make sure both frontal hip bones are coming forward. And then you'll float the arm and the leg up and down. Lengthening and widening. And then you'll come back down again. Thanks for joining me today. Once again, my name is Jen Gorman. I'm a patient, advocate, and teacher for people with spinal fusions and scoliosis. I teach Pilates and yoga, and I'm also a personal trainer. If you'd like to find out more about me, you can find me at scoliosisandbackcare.com. Thanks so much.